We are 4 days out from a 50-mile ultra marathon. In today's video, we're gonna talk about what my taper week looks like, the final week before a race, how many miles I'm gonna run, how many miles I'm not gonna run, how many carbs I'm gonna eat, that is for sure, what my hydration looks like, and just what my plan is to show up race day fully energized and fully ready to go and crush these miles. So sit back, relax. I've got a quick little jaunt right now to knock out, and then I'll get with you. 4 days out from the race. Today's workout consists of 5 miles total, 1 mile warm up, 1 mile of strides, which we just did, about a 7-minute pace, 1 mile recovery like we're doing right now, another mile of strides, and then finish out just cooling down. The point of this workout is to not build fitness. The key to this workout is to keep our body moving and keep those muscles firing. So that's the point of doing those strides. It's gonna feel extremely easy. You're gonna feel strong. You're gonna wanna go faster. You're gonna wanna go farther, but that's not the point of it. The work has been done. You're not making any progress right now. It's better to show up 10% over tapered, 10% under trained than trying to sneak those miles in and trying to sneak in that speed workout and show up 1% overtrained. Taper week might be one of the hardest weeks of training for that reason. And just like that, only one run to go before the big one. So this week was planned at 5 miles Sunday, 6 miles Monday, Tuesday cross train, Wednesday today, 5 miles, but with strides. So, I mean, really, that's just 2 miles. We're pushing the pace a little bit, keep the muscle fibers firing. Thursday's gonna be stretching, warming up, no running. Might move some weight, but just enough to keep my body moving. Nothing, like not a workout. Let me be clear. Thursday is not a workout. Friday, 3-mile shakeout run. Saturday, 50-mile race. So that's gonna put me at about 19 miles for the week before the race. Typically, I suggest for anyone between 15 and 25 miles is probably how much you're gonna wanna do taper week. And it sucks that there is no exact answer. It's based on a number of things, like what your training was, who you are, what feels better. But typically 15 to 25 miles is a good range to keep your taper week in. So I'm dead in the middle, 19 miles. But running's only part of a taper. Now, on to my favorite and also least favorite part of tapering, the carb load. So for me, normally my carb load starts Wednesday night. If the race is Saturday, Wednesday night meal, I start loading up those carbs. Thursday, that whole day is about stuffing myself with carbs, maybe eating myself a little to discomfort. That normally puts me around 500 to 600 grams of carb, which is right around where you want to be. Friday, still focused on eating carbs, but I'm more focused on how I feel. Definitely not eating myself sick, because Saturday, race day, I want to wake up feeling light. But I'm going to tell you two different things here, because carb loading for a marathon is different than carb loading for an ultra marathon. In a marathon, you're running fast, you're burning fuel, you're burning carbs. So the idea of topping your levels up with a bunch of carbohydrates is super important and makes a lot of sense, because you're gonna tap into that tank during that short window of a race. Ultra marathon, when you're out there all day, you're burning fat a little bit more as fuel. So you don't necessarily need to carb load as much, or there's not as much of an emphasis on it. Now, later in the race, if you're redlining or you're super in shape and you're running a fast pace, you're gonna tap into that tank. So you wanna make sure that it's there and it's full and you planned ahead and ate those carbs days out. But you can also just calm yourself down a little bit, knowing, hey, if I don't eat my 600 grams of carbs 2 days out, what's more important is that I train my body how to eat and how to digest during the race. In an ultra marathon, it's more important to fuel and hydrate during the race. The days leading up will help, but if you haven't trained how to drink and eat while running, then you're in for a long race. Either way, we're gonna have that tank fueled up. Ultramarathon, marathon, Papa's getting his carbs in. So after years and years, I had been pushing off falling to the trend, and I finally broke, and I might be late for the trend, but I have been wanting these things forever, and they finally came in the mail. A pair of these bad boys, some Birkenstocks. Fire. They feel so freaking good. If I can get them on. God dang. I mean, I feel so stylish in them, but look. Look at that space in the footbed. You can fit a whole nother foot in there. I am so disappointed. I've been waiting all week for these things to arrive, and they showed up in the mail today. Grabbed them on my way in. Disappointment. So, immediately ordered the size down, and immediately shipping these bad boys back because I want a pair. I want to wear them. They're sick. All stylish, maybe with some pants up, maybe with some pants on. The bottom of the legs rolled up. Sick. But unfortunately, the sickness is going to have to wait. Gosh, they even smell so good. Birkenstock, I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm late to the trend or what, but I am going to be rocking these things this summer. Ah, man. Am I parched? Which brings me to my second point. My second point, this might be like my fifth or sixth point, which brings me to my next point, hydration. Just as important as eating the right things is leading up to a race, so is hydration. And you gotta be very careful and very strategic with it. Otherwise, you can actually do more damage than good with this. You cannot just buy gallons of water the day before a race and start chugging it. That will not make you hydrated. That will actually probably make you sick or lead to a worse performance. You will dilute your body of all the important nutrients, electrolytes, sodium that it needs to perform at a high level. So you got to mix in electrolytes, but you don't want to overdo it. So many people will stuff themselves sick with food, drink thousands and thousands and thousands of milligrams of electrolytes, and overbloat themselves, upset their stomach, and then race day they're a mess. You want to be smart. What I have found is with all the sodium in the extra food intake, I normally only need 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams of electrolytes on top of what I'm already eating. So what I've found myself is 2 days before the race, when I've drastically upped my caloric and carbohydrate intake, I'm getting enough sodium out of the food that I'm eating that I don't worry about it too much. I'm definitely making sure that I am consuming more water than usual. I'm not drinking until I'm sick. I'm being conscious about my water intake, making sure that I always have a water with. The day before a race, I'll normally do 3,000 to 4,000 milligrams throughout the day. One in the morning, one before lunch, one after lunch, and then one in the evening with dinner, and in between still drinking water. Because if you only drink water, it's flushing your system. So you need that sodium so your body can hold on to it. But you want to be careful, and you should be testing this during your training. If you overdo your sodium intake, you're going to wake up the next day bloated and not feeling your best. The goal is to wake up race day feeling normal, feeling your best, but your body is storing all this energy, all this fluid, but you don't necessarily want to feel swollen. Is still make sure to get steps and still stay moving. Everyone always thinks it's a rest week, you're decreasing your mileage, I'm gonna sit around a bunch, but no, you want to stay active, you want to stay moving. I went for a few bike rides with Brooke this week. I'm making sure that I'm going for walks, not to wear my legs out, but you don't want to just sit on the couch the entire time. You're going to be stiff as a board come race day. So taper week, still run those errands, still go on those walks, those long walks on the beach everyone loves, which that's a different story for a different time. I have mixed opinions about that. All right, let's go drop this off. I remember growing up and having to return something was the biggest hassle ever. Trying to find a UPS store and find the time to go drop something off was such a pain. But now living downtown in a city, it's like, for some reason at first I'm like, oh man, I gotta return something. And then I literally just like go right out my door, walk into the UPS where there's no one ever there and then just drop it off and on my way. Easiest thing ever. Now, the worst part is waiting for that money to come back, but there's always a cycle of it coming in and out. Mostly, knock on wood. All right, that's done. Hopefully these come soon. I'm ready to be a Burt guy. All right, I'm gonna end the video here, putting down the first carb-loaded meal, Brooks' go-to all-time classic, spicy a la vodka, best in the game. Lots of food going down tomorrow. Brooks got sourdough she prepped up. Gonna eat probably both those in one sitting. And we're 4 days out. Lots of water, lots of electrolytes, lots of carbs coming in. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.